One Piece is just like the real world, man. And I want to talk about the Willa D, man, and British rule and the superior race and slavery and a lot of things that they put in One Piece, man. That's just like people are not even seeing. For one, I just want to tell you, I think Oda puts things in One Piece and y'all don't even see it. Like Luffy is supposed to be like Brazilian, like that's where he said what country Luffy was supposed to come from. If you look, and he picked all of the characters out, even in the live action. If you look at Luffy, like he had like a skin tone a little lighter than mine. Like I think what he's trying to say is like how the Bible says the Egyptians will, be taken over as slaves, which was a lot of black Americans or whatever, and some went to South America, some slaves went to Haiti, certain islands or whatever, and like all mixed blood, and like they said, God is gonna put his God's people are going to be in every corner of the earth. Don't quote me. I'm not quoting exactly what it said in the Bible, but it's like Brazil is one of those places. Brazilian, they have Afro Brazilians, just like, there's Afro Latinas, Afro, anything. Black is there, even if they try to hide it. I didn't even know it was black Mexicans till like a couple of years ago, with darker skin than me. Dominicans, of course, are darker than me, but like, you have this thing, like I said, Oda picked out the actors, and he has his darker skin and his tannish skin. And I think the purpose of Luffy is to be mixed with all races, which is why, he took the blood transfusion in Fishman Island. And, he's Dragon's son, which is Dragon, I think, is supposed to be like Native American-esque, mixed with other things. He has the tribal tattoo and the long hair like a Native American. Like I think Luffy's character is supposed to be a mixture of a lot of things, like because he's not a racist. He don't hate anybody. If you think about Fishman, somebody with darker skin, Zoro is like a Japanese. His whole crew is just diverse. Like he don't hate anybody. Like he has a dead black man on his crew. Like he doesn't hate anybody. Like you have to look at those things, but this is all Christianity and all type of things tied into it. And you got the celestial dragons, man, is the rightful rulers of this place that, either mock like the French, British, some of the stuff look like British ships, some of the stuff looks like some of the stuff is Germany, like Sanji's family, and Sanji is like the offshoot of I'm a good German. Basically, I was different from my family. The Germans, it's not all Germans were evil, but it's showing you like history and what happens, and the stereotypes. And like I said, the Willa D, man, is, if you look at, I'm gonna just use they call them FBAs now, people who were slaves, Foundation of Black Americans, man. If you just look at that, what is that in One Piece? Like I said, it's like what's my man's name, man? Why am I drawing him like the one of the 7 warlords? It's like him. It's like Jesus, man. I can't think of his name right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The one that teleports people that became a pacifista. I know exactly who I'm talking about. But it's like he's a slave. You got him who, just like black people, y'all see him. Those, like my grandmother was. Those was a God is gonna help. That's how he talked about the sun god. That's how he talked about Joy Boy. It's no different. He was religious, had the Bible, just like black people here, man. It's the same thing. It's I don't know how people can't see this. What happened in the past, the void century, the Egyptians. Now they saying, there were no people like my skin complexion or to look like me. Egypt. We could break that down in so many ways. And then a lot of people don't even know it was in Africa. And then it's like, if you think about history and like all the stuff, they go, so where was the people that looked like me? Where were they at? People don't even know it was like black people, Asian people, a lot of other different races in Rome. Like I was looking at the trailer to that show Spartacus, or it's like there were no black people then. It was like an Italian. There were no. Yes, there was. Trade, merchants, the Moors, like all of these people. It's like people don't even know these things. And it's like that's what One Piece is kind of showing, the past and the future, which is why it's so genius. Like it's showing the past and the future at the same time. Like people were all mixed up together, always. Always throughout history. You know what I'm saying? You might have had certain regions to where it's like it was mostly this, like a lot of places in Europe, yeah, it probably was mostly like white people there for the most part, but like Spanish influence, black influence is like all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Like in every corner of the world, like you have some influence there. Japanese, with Nigerians. I was just listening to Godfrey talk about this. Like a lot of their words are the same, man. Like a lot of them were there before, a long time ago. And a lot of countries try to have their darker, ethnicities, like the Philippines do it like recently. Like they try to have it like they don't have darker people there. Like a lot of the Filipinos look like Puerto Ricans, man. Some of them look like Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. But anyway, it's like Oda puts all of that in there, man. You got Vivi, who he made darker because she's supposed to like Middle Eastern people. She's a Middle Eastern actor, like actress. Like you got Sudanese people, like maybe she's like one of them, somebody from Sudan, but that's what she represents. And people are like, oh, but she has blue hair. And she's like, yeah, that's the anime. Like you want to make people look different, everything. She has blue hair in the anime. Like, come on, man. But that's how she's supposed to come off. He said this. If you go look at, when he created the show, he has this whole artistry book to where he says this is where they would be from. And people just want to skip over that part, man. And it's like people want to skip over history. It's just like they act like certain things never happened. They act like there were no black inventors. And once again, I don't want to make this whole thing about black, but it's just Oda's pushing that narrative. Like I said, Zoro is Japanese. He's just a Japanese swordsman, which people want to look at it like, well, we love Zoro, but that's kind of a stereotype. But that's what we love, a lot of the samurai and the Asian people for is their martial arts and, their fighting tactics. But that's thrown in there, man, because it happened. It's real. The samurai existed. So this is why we thought Wano was going to be so good, man. But, I liked Wano. It was okay. It wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. But, it's showing that history has always been tampered with. You have the Buster Call is real, but it's not. It's actually a video on that y'all should watch, man. It's called The Buster Call is Real. But, like, a lot of civilizations have been taken out with the order from, a lot of the times, British rule. A lot of people like to talk about the little hats. Now, you have somebody representing that. You have the marks that, like, not Yugoslavians, man. A lot of people over there in like I can't remember the country where they have those marks, but you have the guy in the little hat attire, that community. You have a white British man when it comes to the elites that's controlling everything. That we're not seeing the guy with the yarmulke and the locks fighting Luffy. That's where I'm left off right now on Egghead. The elders. We're seeing them. You got the Gandhi looking dude. It's like everybody at the time. Nobody's black. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's black. And I'm just pointing that out. You don't have black people up there with the elites, man, that's running things, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, is behind the scenes. Unless Emu is. Emu could be, but it's a black figure so far. We don't know what he or she looks like. So, and you got Dragon, who him and his crew are basically the Revolutionary Army. Like I said, he looks like he's Native American-ish, comes from like the Sky Island people. Why they have angel wings and they could be coming from God. You got the Luminarians, which is King, and his people that's almost been wiped out. He has darker skin. Like people aren't paying attention. Like this is why I think some people that's not racist, like white people that's not racist, they kind of hate when black people trying to stand up, because it's like, I think when they think black people are trying to stand for something, it's like they're trying to make them the villain. Because if you look at, even like Dragon Ball Z is kind of the story, you can look at it as black slavery with Frieza, and Frieza's like white, has white skin, and their hair stands up, like black people that grows up, and like they call monkeys, and you could look at that as a similarity, as black people, rising up or having a chosen one. It's the same thing. It's the same stories, man. Like I said, I don't think Luffy in the TV show when he was a kid was tan for a reason. I don't think you can put black actors and everything. Like Black Panther worked, but it's Black Panther. You know what you was getting. They can't put black things because people have a problem with it. Like I say, even people that's not racist, they see it as an attack on them. Like, oh, we try to say all black people are victims and heroes and we're the evil people. So it's like they have a problem when Vivi is darker skin. And they're calling her black. She's not even black. She's Middle Eastern. So anything black is just scary to them. And it's like, I'm not a villain. It's because when they see Frieza, it's like we just keep getting called the villains as white people. But this is the world, man. White people own slaves. Some black people did too, but And a large majority, white people have been running slavery, man. It's been more Europeans, a certain amount of Africans, but they ain't got nothing on British rule, man. British did it better. You know what I'm saying? The British did it better. That's all that was. And, they invaded Poland, which you have some Polish references and clues in One Piece as well, man. Like, it's all based off history. It's like Lord of the Rings is engulfed in Christianity. Like, all of this stuff is based on real things that happened. Game of Thrones, Sansa's supposed to be Queen Elizabeth, like the red hair and everything. It's all inspired by reality. That's what I love about it. That's the only reason I'm even talking about it, is because that's what I love about it. I love looking at reading history and just trying to find the similarities, and that's what it is, man. We're all trying to figure it out. We all think the moral of the story is everybody matters. There's good people and bad people. That's why Luffy's crew is so diverse, and it's trying to find the One Pieces with that story. I think that's my theory is the One Piece is figuring out the true history. Like the Adam and Eve, the tree of life. The tree of knowledge and all that stuff. I think that's what the One Piece is, man, and it's telling you who truly is God's people. I don't think he's going to end the show, man, but I think that's what our minds are supposed to. That's what it's all. Is Christianity, man, is religion. It's all tied back to. That's why they have like scrolls and books taken out of the Bible. Like, some of that is true history. I know some people don't believe in Jesus and all of that, but like all of that's the one piece of history. One Piece. I didn't even do that on purpose. That's the one piece of history that we got that goes so far back. That's to the masses. They say they change it like every so often, like in the 20s, they say they start they start burning a lot of books, man, and like books that get banned in schools and all of that. Like, One Piece is so great because of this. It's saying all the hypocrisy, all of this, man, all your presidents, your kings is showing you the hypocrisy and all of it, and like how flawed the Marine system is. This system was put in play just like with police officers. It got put in play to keep the people with the will of D down. In the Bible, it talks about Satan his plans, and there are people like it was one part I can't remember, but Jesus talks about these people telling them to go to a different land because y'all are children of, did he say Satan or Lucifer? Basically said they were children of the devil, man, which he has people here that he has in play, man, like, and the bloodline of David and all of these, like, that matters in the Bible. Like, bloodlines matters in One Piece. Like, people don't never talk about that in the Bible. Like, God was choosing bloodlines, man, to carry out his plans. I think Luffy is a part of that bloodline. You got Law, he's a part of that bloodline. It's just like David, in the Bible. If you don't know the story of David and Goliath, David was this little guy who was sent to beat Goliath and, his army of non-followers that were just basically horrible, evil people. Goliath was part of that giant half angel. He had Nephilim, so he had angels came down and had children on earth, and they were like just these abominations. That's the story of David and Goliath. David ended up slaying them, and his bloodline was used for Jesus. Like, he was part of Jesus was part of his bloodline. That's the bloodline God chose to use. I want to say it's not bad. Yes, it's that way around, I believe. And it continued. The bloodline of Noah, which if you haven't watched the anime called D. Gray, man, is one of my favorite animes. Like the Noah clan, that bloodline is still going. Like, bloodlines really mean something. It means something in the real world. And I think the devil, why he tried to take out, like some say that the African people who became slaves, they was trying to like stump out that bloodline. It's like in One Piece, we want that Will of D stumped out. We want Goldie Rogers clan stumped out. We want Ace gone. We want Luffy gone. We want Water gone. Water D Law gone. We want all of these people, Marshall D Teach. All of these are the clan of God, which, they could throw the devil on them and be saying they're the actual devils, but when they're truly the people of God, that's why Luffy has Joy Boy, the son of God, like he's quote unquote Jesus, you know what I mean? And it's like who better than that to be this person who believes in diversity, who loves everybody equally, who'd have anybody on his crew. Or it shouldn't be the Celestial Dragons where they take people as slaves and beat them half to death or beat them to death. Take women and do all type of things, take them from their loved ones, and then release them when they have no more use for them. Like, these are horrible people. And once again, I'm not saying all white people are horrible. That's not what I'm getting at. But you have some that are just god awful. Like Nazi Germany. They were just god awful people, man. Sanji's family is god awful. Except his sister, just like he's supposed to represent Philip from Elizabeth's husband, man. Philip's sister was a Nazi. She married into the Nazi family, but he loved his sister. If you ever watch The Crown, it shows he was acting like he didn't like the Nazi regime. He just was, going to visit his sister. He hated his father. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what Sanji is. Sanji, to me, is like Philip from The Crown. You know what I mean? Elizabeth, which I think she was the second, her husband, and that's kind of what he represents. His sister was the only one that he loved, just like Philip, in The Crown or in real life. Philip, what was he prince of? She made him a prince, but I forget where their kingdom was. Oh my God, what was it? Wasn't Belgium? It was something. But like he kept talking about he came over in an orange crate. Hold on, was Sanji in the crate? Hold on, because Luffy was in the barrel. I forget where. Come on, man. Come on, I'm scaring myself. But he came over in an orange crate. Philip kept saying that in The Crown, man. I can't remember how Sanji was found. I'm gonna look that. I should go look that up. But anyway, that's One Piece, man. One Piece is just like Lord of the Rings, any other great work. All great works that y'all like, who y'all atheists and people don't like to believe in God, it all comes back to religion. Usually Christianity or Catholicism are both mixed in with each other, man. Which Catholicism, Catholics are Christians. But, they're just not Protestants. It all comes back to that, man. The chosen people, God's chosen people. The people fighting, for what they believe in, fighting for the good. And I think that's where a lot of people in the world hate black people, like black Americans. We don't need money to be our God. Like, even if you look at like rappers and stuff, when they get on, they don't respect money. It's like, that's why they buy chains. They don't know what to do when they get it. Black people are really happy without it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just, I need to get it to get more women. It's like, which is a horrible thing. You don't need to sleep. Like, most black people, they don't know money. They don't know, they don't care to learn either when they get it. You know what I'm saying? Look at Allen Iverson. They want to compete. Black people want to compete, man. They want to hoop. They want to play golf. They want to compete, man, physically, most of them, or even, you have some inventors. It's like, whatever it is, if I can be in it and I can compete, that's what I want to do. That's what black people like to do, man. Said money isn't their God. We all grew up in households where our grandparents or our mothers and fathers, tried to like instill God into us and told us, money isn't our God. But if you look at the elders in One Piece and the Celestial Dragons, that's exactly what God is. You know what I'm saying? Is money, and they can own slaves by right. That's why I think black people have that bloodline. Southern Americans have that bloodline to where they're God's people, man. Like, it's so much God worship down there in Southern America. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, that's the devil trying to stump them out, man. One Piece, man. I hit. Don't be a nigga.